Welcome to 12-Minute Talks, where important information is shared in a short time period. Learn from other business owners, entrepreneurs, and experts about what they do to help you find solutions to everyday topics in 12 minutes or less. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the 12-Minute Talks podcast. I'm excited to have with us today Michele Lewandowski. She's the owner of My Cup of Media. She's not your average social media gal talking about status updates and hashtags, but she really helps to turn clicks into customers. Michele, thank you so much for being on today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. So yeah, this is interesting. We were talking a little bit before and you told me that part of what you do is, build databases for people so they're not just out there putting status updates for everybody, but really for their ideal clients. Um, but before we get into what that actually means and more of what you do, why don't you tell the audience a little bit more about you and your backgrounds?
Okay, gosh. If I look back, I think I've always had a passion for marketing and helping people from a very young age. I grew up in a small business world. My parents owned a small business in very rural Michigan. And actually, at the age of 8, I wrote an ad copy for my dad's radio slot. He had an advertisement for his business that was on every morning on the local radio station at 7 o'clock in the morning. And I wrote an ad copy and they actually used it. So that was pretty cool as an 8-year-old. So as life progresses and things change, I, like everybody, I took many different paths, but I always really found myself in some way or another helping others with their business, how to market their business, how to do a marketing plan, helping them, with those things. So fast forward, I decided in my 30s that it was time to get a degree, to go and get the higher education. So totally unintentionally, I ended up getting a master's degree. But I soon found that corporate America just was not for me. It just was not my game.
Mm-hmm.
So I came home and I really had to evaluate and see what it was I really wanted to do. And I just kept coming back to the passion of marketing. So I'm sure your listeners, anybody who's in the marketing world, has heard of probably one of the best marketers, in my opinion, the best social media marketer in the world, and that's Billy Jean from Billy Jean is Marketing. And I don't know if you want to say I found him or he found me would probably be the right thing to say because he is so awesome at what he does. And I just totally took and I absorbed everything that he was putting out. He gives out so much stuff for free and all this stuff. And I just kept absorbing it and falling in love with it. And so I signed up for a couple of his courses and I took them and I landed my first client. This was back 4.5 years ago, almost 5 years ago now, and I still actually have that client. And so here we are. Things just progressed, and I built my agency from my home. I work from home. I say I'm a stay-at-home grandma, and
Nice.
um, and that's what I do. So yeah, that's how I got started, and that's how I'm here now.
Fantastic. So you skipped the cold weather up in Michigan, came
Yeah.
down here to Florida. So that's good. But it's interesting, yeah. So you have a master's and corporate America really wasn't for you, which I see that often. From talking to so many people out there, and it's great that you've been able to take something that seems you were a natural at, even since you were a child, to build it now into a business.
Yeah,
Um,
it's been great to just kind of see how it's evolved. And, I think sometimes as women, as entrepreneurs, we become our own worst enemy. We get imposter syndrome, like, wow, can I really do this? And
mhm.
it's really nice to work alongside, the people that I have become friends with. They're brilliant. They're absolutely brilliant. They're from all over the world. And to be in that group with them, it's really amazing.
Fantastic. And so, Michelle, why don't you tell us a little bit more about what it is exactly that you help other business owners solve?
Sure. So as you mentioned, I am more than just status updates and hashtags. I turn clicks into customers. And how I do that is by strategically bringing in new customers, bring back old ones, keep them coming back, and increase the average sale. Because statistics show that a business will lose 15% of their customers each and every year. So if a business isn't actively doing something to replace what is lost every year, it doesn't take long to do the math and why a lot of businesses go out in the first 1 to 3 years. So for business owners who need to bring in more customers, we help them by doing that without them having to hire more staff. We have a customer acquisition program that is very automated with marketing strategies, and it helps them to find their ideal client, qualify them to make sure that they are an ideal client, and convert them into reoccurring customers without taking time away from their staff. So we allow business owners to have a customer acquisition staff member basically without having a staff member. They don't have to pay us, the weekly or the payroll tax, or, they can hire us for short term, they can hire us for long term. And it's just basically to get that job done.
Yeah, that's definitely a great solution to provide. As business owners, we're always looking for not just maintaining our existing clients, but also getting new clients. I think any business owner out there, that's really what they're in it for at the end of the day, right? Being able to help as many people as possible. And so why social media and not traditional forms of marketing like cold calling or putting things in the newspaper?
The biggest thing with social media and the programs that we have set up is we can actually track the ROI, unlike traditional advertising of radio, billboards, print ads. I talk to a lot of people who, maybe real estate agents, and they're sending out postcards to all these communities. Well, that's okay, but there's different things that you could do alongside of that, because think about it if you were a real estate agent and you sent out all these postcards. Wouldn't it be nice to know who threw it in the garbage, who has absolutely zero interest in what you're selling, who looked at and thought, my cousin was going to sell her house, and who took it and actually put it on the refrigerator with, you know what, I need to call her sometime because I think I'd like to sell my house.
Right. And
We
then,
don't want to
we
market
usually, yeah, go ahead.
because we don't want to continue to market towards those people who threw it away. That's wasting our marketing dollars. We want to retarget people who have shown some interest, and digital marketing allows you to do that in so many levels.
Yeah, definitely, and it's a lot easier to do than, like you said, like like sending out mailers. Like I'm in the insurance industry, and in our industry, I think the return for mailers is like less than 1% or something ridiculous like that, right? Like per thousand things that you send out. But on social media, you're at least able to know exactly who's getting it, and who's looking at your ads, who's clicking on stuff, right? And then I'm assuming retargeting is important, like you mentioned, right?
Oh,
um
retargeting is very important because as consumers, it is rare for us to buy something the first time we see it. It doesn't matter if it's a $20 price point or a $200,000 price point. We want more information, and you've got to build that know, like, and trust. People do business with people that they know, they like, and they trust. So it's a process that I think a lot of times business owners miss. They just want to put out a posting, come buy my stuff. And that's not how it works.
right. And so, like, what type of posts should business owners be putting out there to be more known, liked, and trust?
I think a lot of it is they have to expose themselves as a person, go and do videos. And I don't mean bring in a production crew or anything like that. The smartphones these days shoot amazing videos. Shoot a simple video. Hi, my name is Michelle, and today, at my restaurant, we are featuring this pizza and blah, 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 and tell about your pizza, and connect with your people. Stop selling stuff. If we stop selling, we build a relationship with our ideal client, that's when they're going to start coming in and giving us their money. Nobody wants to be sold to. So you can do videos, you can do engaging posts where you're asking people, tell us below, what are your favorite pizza toppings, and get people to engage in what you're putting out there. and stop selling.
Great advice, Michelle. And for your last question here, what is something that helps you? Let me start the question over. Sorry, um, Michelle. So that's definitely some great advice for people to take and to, more importantly, put into action. What would you say is something that sets you apart from other people that do social media outreach?
I think the biggest thing that sets what I do apart is that we really focus on building data for our clients. A lot of times I see businesses will put a post out there and it says, tag your friends below, or, maybe they do a contest of some kind, which a lot of times I see them doing totally against terms of service. A lot of times, they're just putting posts out there. And even if you're asking people, comment below with your favorite pizza topping, that's great. But attach it to some automation where then you are gathering the people's email address, possibly their phone number. So then you continue to market and nurture them later through different avenues of marketing, text message, email. So there's different offers that can be going out in different ways to keep in front of your ideal customer. So that's really what sets us apart, is we are really, really big on collecting data for our clients. And a lot of times I will talk to people and I'll say, do you have a database of email addresses and phone numbers? And like, oh yeah, but we don't use it. That's gold. People are sitting on lots and lots of money with those databases that they're not using. So that's something that we definitely can help them get back in front of those past customers.
Great stuff, and very important, because at the end of the day we do business with people and not with likes and clicks and all that stuff. So definitely,
Exactly. Yeah, and
yeah,
you can't take all your likes and your comments and your shares from Facebook and deposit it in the bank. I've tried it; it doesn't work. But
really, they don't accept it.
no, the bank just won't accept those little likes and the emojis. They just won't do it. And that's something like people say, well, I got 40 likes on that post. Well, that's great, but how much money did it make you?
Exactly, yeah, that's really what's important. Even if out of those 40 likes, at least you started a conversation with one person, then it was, depending on what your numbers are, right? But at least you got something out of it, I guess.
Exactly.
um yeah, and so, Michelle, how can a business owner reach out to you if they would like more information about your services?
Absolutely. They can find me on Facebook at My Cup of Media, just like My Cup of Tea, but it's My Cup of Media, or the website mycupofmedia.com. Or they can email me, Michele, and that's with one L, Michele at mycupofmedia.com.
Awesome. And like always, I will put all of the links down below so anybody listening can easily click and follow her and reach out to Michelle. And I just wanted to quickly introduce myself for those of you that don't know who I am. My name's Lorena Tomasini, and I'm the owner of Mom Life and Health Insurance Agency, where together with my mom, we help families and business owners with their financial protection needs, all done digitally. Michelle, it's been great having you today on the 12-Minute Talks podcast, and I do have one random question for you.
Certainly.
Um, what would you say are some of your favorite hobbies?
Oh, my favorite hobbies. Gosh, I have a lot. I love to travel, and my husband is semi-retired. So right now we're focusing on looking at all that bucket list stuff that we want to do, traveling around the United States, of course, with the COVID that's going on right now, that kind of limits us a little bit. But
Mm-hmm.
we went up earlier in the year to Tennessee, to the Smoky Mountains, and absolutely fell in love with it. So we love to travel, and just spending time with my husband and my family. That's pretty simple, and that's what we spend our time doing.
Awesome, and well, and most importantly, being a stay-at-home grandmother, right?
Yes, yep. Having my 4-year-old grandson around is quite exciting to be able to do that and be able to stay home. And when he needs a grandma day, grandma's here.
Fantastic. Well, Michelle, thank you so much for this valuable information.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to this podcast, and hope you will listen to the next one. I'm Lorena Tomasini, and you can contact me via email life@malmins.com. Make it a great day.